So what if I tell you that this game that Arsenal will be playing this weekend against AFC Bournemouth is the most important game for them this season? A draw or a lose can hinder them from winning the Premier League title. Despite their leading the table with 70 points, followed by Manchester City with 61, a draw or lose can be a disadvantage for Arsenal. Welcome to the channel. This is my Premier League predictions game week 32. And this game week 32, I'm looking out for some of the key fixtures like Manchester City will go to Stamford Bridge to face Chelsea. Liverpool will be playing against Fulham. Man United will also be playing against Leeds United, and Arsenal will be playing against AFC Bournemouth. West Ham United will also be playing against 20th place Wolves. And well, we have some of the crazy interesting fixtures coming up this weekend. So without wasting much of your time, my name is Andy Final. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment your thoughts and your predictions at the comment section. Without wasting much of your time, let's get started with the game week 32 predictions. Alright, so starting off the game with 32 predictions at the London Stadium on Friday night is between West Ham United versus Wolves. 18th on the Premier League table, West Ham United versus 20th at the bottom of the Premier League table, Wolves. This is going to be a difficult game coming up at the London Stadium. Talking about West Ham United, right now they are 18th on the league table with 29 points minus of 21 goals. Talking about Wolves, they are also 20th at the bottom with just 17 points minus of 30 goals as it stands in game week 31. Going to this game at the London Stadium, West Ham United is fighting for survival. They are fighting to survive and stay for the Premier League next season. Whilst it looks like already Wolves is already relegated with just 17 points out of 31 games, it's not good enough to sustain them for next season. And going to this game, I'm predicting a win for the home side. I'm predicting a 2-0 victory for West Ham United. This win can bring them to either 16th or 17th position, looking at the teams that follow up. So my prediction between West Ham United versus Wolves is going to be a 2-0 victory for West Ham United. Oh yes, moving on to the next game on Saturday, early kickoff at the Emirates Stadium in North London is between Arsenal versus AFC Bournemouth. This is going to be a very difficult game coming up in game 32. Arsenal hosting AFC Bournemouth in game 32. Looking at Arsenal, right now they are leading the Premier League table with 70 points plus of 39 goals. Talking about AFC Bournemouth, they are also 30th on the Premier League table with 42 points minus of 2 goals as it stands in game week 31. Looking at how things are going, Bournemouth in their last 5 games in the Premier League have not even lost a single one. And going into this game is going to be a very difficult game for Arsenal. Looking at Arsenal, players will be coming from international break, a lot of tired legs, and I think it will be a very difficult game for them going into this game. What is my score prediction between Arsenal and AFC Bournemouth? This game to be very difficult. I'm predicting a 1-1 draw, but I will not be shocked if Arsenal end up winning it by 1-0. Moving on to the next game at the G-Tech Community Stadium in game 32 is between Brentford versus Everton. It's between 7th on the Premier League table versus 8th on the Premier League table. And looking at these two teams, it's only 2 goals that separate these two teams. Let's look at the league table. Brentford at the moment, they are 7th on the Premier League table. Talking about Everton, they are also 8th on the Premier League table with the same points. And going to this game at the G-Tech Community Stadium, what do I think is going to happen? I think it's going to be a very difficult game. And if I have to predict, there are a lot of tired legs going to this weekend games, and my prediction for this game is going to be a 2-1 victory for Brentford. Brentford 2, Everton 1. Moving on to the next game in game 32 at the 12th mark is between Burnley versus Brighton. This is going to be an interesting clash coming up in game 32. Talking about Burnley, they are 19th on the Premier League table with 20 points minus of 28 goals. Talking about Brighton, they are also 10th on the Premier League table with 43 points plus of 4 goals. Going into this game at the 12th more in game week 32 is going to be a very difficult game for Burnley. That's why they are playing at home. And talking about Brighton, in game week 31 managed to beat Liverpool. So they have a good results in their recent games in the Premier League. Going to this game against Burnley, what is my score prediction? I'm predicting Brighton to get a 3-1 victory over Burnley. Brighton 3, Burnley 1. Moving on to the next game at Anfield in game 32 is between Liverpool versus Fulham. This is going to be an interesting and a very difficult game coming up in game week 32. Talking about Liverpool right now, they are 5th on the league table with 49 points plus of 8 goals. Talking about Fulham, they are also 9th on the league table with 44 points minus of 1 goal assistance in game week 31. And let's talk about Liverpool and have a good look at the table. Right now, Liverpool is 5th with 49 plus 8. Chelsea is sit with 48 plus 15, and Aston Villa is 4th with 54 plus of 5 goals. So if you look at Liverpool and Chelsea, it's only 1 point difference between Liverpool and Chelsea. And when it comes to goals, Chelsea have more goals than Liverpool. Chelsea has plus 15 goals, Liverpool has plus 8 goals, Aston Villa also has plus 5 goals. But the difference between Aston Villa and Liverpool is point difference 54-49. So there's 5 point difference between Aston Villa and Liverpool. So looking at how things are going, Premier League will get 5 teams in the Champions League next season. So the 5th position is likely to get Champions League football next season. And between Liverpool, Chelsea, and Aston Villa, who is going to get Champions League spot? It's interesting. Let's talk about Liverpool. Going to this game in game week 32 at the Anfield against Fulham is going to be a difficult game. Looking at just last 2 weeks, they lost against Brighton at the Amex Stadium, which was a very sad game. And going to this game, I'm predicting Liverpool to get a 2-2 draw against Fulham. Liverpool 2, Fulham 2. Moving on to the next game at the Selhurst Park in game week 32 is between Crystal Palace versus Newcastle United. This game is between 14th on the league table versus 12th on the league table. Looking at how the standings is looking right now, Newcastle United is 12th on the league table with 42 points minus of 1 goal. Crystal Palace, they are also 14th on the league table with 39 points minus of 2 goals assistance in game week 31. What is my score prediction going to this game in game week 32 at the Selhurst Park? My score prediction in this game is going to be a 2-1 victory for Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace 2, Newcastle United 1. But I will not be shocked if this game ends in a 1-1 draw. Moving on to the next game at the City Ground between Nottingham Forest versus Aston Villa. And this is going to be a very difficult game. Looking at the two teams, Nottingham Forest is fighting for survival for next season, and Aston Villa is also looking out to cement their spot in Champions League next season. So this is going to be a crucial game between Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa. Let's have a good look at both teams. Aston Villa at the moment, they are 4th on the league table with 54 points plus of 5 goals. Nottingham Forest is also now 16th on the league table with 32 points minus of 12 goals. Looking at the teams that are around Nottingham Forest, Leeds United is now 15th with 33 points minus of 11 goals. Tottenham Hotspur is 17th with 30 points minus of 10 goals. So if you look at the points difference, Nottingham Forest has 32, Leeds United has 33, and Tottenham Hotspur has 30. West Ham United is also 18, relegation with 29. So Nottingham Forest, if they really want to escape relegation, this is a game that they need to win all the 3 maximum points so that it will help them run away from relegation this season. And talking about Aston Villa, they also need to cement their position in the Champions League spot. Right now, they are fourth on the league table with 54 plus of 5. Looking at Manchester United third position, 55 plus of 13. Liverpool fifth with 49 plus of 8. And Aston Villa is now fourth with 54 point plus of 5 goals. So the points difference between Man United and Aston Villa is just 1 point difference between Manchester United and Aston Villa. And well, it's 5 point difference between Aston Villa and Liverpool, and so on. So going to this game is a must-win game for both teams. Nottingham Forest versus Aston Villa. What is my score prediction? I'm predicting this game to end in a draw. My score prediction is going to be a 2-2 draw. Nottingham Forest 2, Aston Villa 2. But I will not be shocked if any of these teams get a win. Moving on to the next game at the Stadium of Light in game week 32 is between Sunderland versus Tottenham Hotspurs. This is going to be a very difficult game for Tottenham Hotspurs going to the Stadium of Light. Looking at Sunderland this season, they have made their home a fortress, and it's difficult for teams to go there and get results. And looking at how things are going for Tottenham, right now they are struggling for survival, and it's difficult for them to go into this game at the Stadium of Light. Let's look at Sunderland on the league table. Right now, Sunderland is now 11th on the league table with 43 points, minus of 4 goals. Talking about Tottenham Hotspurs, they are also 17th on the league table with 30 points, minus of 10 goals. And looking at teams around Tottenham Hotspurs, we have Nottingham Forest and we have West Ham United. Nottingham Forest is 16th with 32 points, minus of 12. West Ham United is now 18 with 29 minus of 21 goals. So the points difference between Tottenham Hotspurs and West Ham United is just 1. Nottingham Forest versus Tottenham 2 is 2 points different. So a win for Tottenham Hotspurs can also take them to 16th position. Lose can also put them in danger if West Ham United win their game against Wolves. So going to this game is going to be very difficult. Looking at Sunderland, they are safe with 43 minus of 4. So they are 11th on the league table, and they to be a very difficult game for Tottenham Hotspur since they have even gotten a new head coach, which is Roberto De Zerbi. I think it's going to be a very difficult game. What is my score prediction? I'm predicting Tottenham Hotspur to bounce back. After getting a new coach, they should bounce back. My prediction is going to be a 1-0 victory for Tottenham Hotspur at the Stadium of Light. And I know it will be impossible, but anything can happen. I'm predicting Tottenham to win this. Moving on to the next game in game week 32 at the Stamford Bridge is the game of the week between Chelsea versus Manchester City. And this is going to be an interesting game coming up in game week 32. Talking about both teams, looking at the table, Manchester City is now second on the league table with 61 points plus of 32 goals. Chelsea is now sitting on the Premier League table with 48 points plus of 15 goals. Looking at the teams around Manchester City, Arsenal is leading the table with 70 points plus of 39. Man United is also third with 55 plus of 13. And looking at how things are going, Manchester City will probably finish second on the league table, looking at the point gap between Man City and Man United. And looking at Chelsea too, Chelsea now sits position with 48 plus of 15. Liverpool is now fifth with 49 plus of 8. And Brentford is also seventh with 46 plus of 4. Everton, they are also eighth on the league table with 46 points. So a win for Brentford or a win for Everton can bring Chelsea to 7th position if they lose this game against Manchester City. So going to this game is a must-win game for Chelsea. And what do I think is going to happen? Chelsea playing Manchester City. Looking at how things are going, he has lost 4 consecutive games in all competition, and their next game is against Manchester City. Can Chelsea win against Manchester City? This is a question to ask. And well, what is my score prediction? Chelsea versus Manchester City. I'm predicting this game to end in a 1-1 draw. Chelsea 1, Manchester City 1. Moving on to the next game in game 32 at the Old Trafford Stadium is between Manchester United versus Leeds United. This is going to be one of the difficult games to predict, to be frank with you. Man United in game week 31 got a draw at the Vitality Stadium against AFC Bournemouth, which Leeds United also in game 31 also got a draw. I think going to this game is going to be a very difficult game. Looking at how things are going, Manchester United at the moment, they are third on the league table with 55 plus of 13. Leeds United is also 15th on the league table with 33 points minus of 11 goals. And this is going to be a crucial game coming up at the Old Trafford. What is my score prediction between Manchester United versus Leeds United? I'm predicting Leeds United to get a 2-1 victory against Manchester United at the Old Trafford. This is an upset, and I'm predicting it. So yes, this has been my prediction for Premier League Game Week 32. My name is Andy Final. Till we meet in another video. Let's have a conversation at the comment section.